Hey.
You were there, then you were gone. I was like, did I do that?
Okay, yeah, part 2. I don't know what happened, but it ended it. I'm gonna real quick throw up a thumbnail on this one. I don't know what happened, but for some reason it ended it, so I just saved it as part 2. Let me put a thumbnail up. I try to let everybody know that we were over here. I just titled it part 2 so that we could get it. I don't know if it shut it down when she went out or what, but either way, we're back. I don't know. So what I was saying, when I was driving around, is that when I was driving around on my little thing here. Okay, so there's several trailer parks in the area. This appears to be a trailer park. That is a house, and there's some trailers in the area. Now, again, ah, no, this is our house, and there's our bunker right there. And she was saying, and the blue house is where Andre lives, which is going to be our mastermind behind the whole situation, possibly gang tide member. And she said he lives in the blue trailer. So I don't know if it's that one. If it is, that's concerning because there's a trampoline and baby toy in the front yard. And I went down here. This is a blue trailer where no toys are in the front yard, so it could possibly be that one or that one. And this one has like a bicycle and some kind of other toy right there in the front yard. So I don't know. Yes, we're back. We're talking about the trailer parks, and I'm going to finish. So I don't know which one is Andre's house, but it's one of those allegedly. That one with the kids' toys, or this one, or the one on the other side of this red one appears to be blue, and it has a trampoline in the front yard, which is concerning. Hopefully, he doesn't have children. So, Rebel, I see that you're here. Okay, I didn't know if you had been a little bit behind us or not. And since you're on this stream, I do see that you are here. I wanted to show you something pertaining to Austin. I'm hoping that he's not in the same jail as the other ones because I was concerned about that earlier. This is Tanaka Brown. We were talking about possible motives. Here, this is the arrest report for Austin Robert Drummond. He's in custody, but down here it says OBION County Jail, and he was booked in August 5th at 2:21 p.m. and his location is the OBION County Jail. So I'm hoping that they keep him very much segregated from our. Actually, we'll go to the better picture. Yep, there. From Tanaka Brown, Giovanni Thomas, Brandon Powell, and Dara Sanders. And I've heard that Dara Sanders was possibly a CO just like Caitlin was. Thank y'all for coming back, and thank you for coming over here. I appreciate it. Austin's girlfriend or ex lives near where Austin was caught. A lot of people had asked that, and I knew that when we saw interviews with people from that neighborhood, they said that they had known him when he was younger. So I was wondering if he grew up there, if his parents lived there. Interesting. Oh, here, you're good. I don't know if it broke when you went out or if I did something, but it's okay. We're back. We're good. Rebel said, yes, that's the one they took him to first, but he was getting transferred here. I'm being told it was late last night. I really, really hope they don't put him back in that same Lake County penitentiary. Oh my goodness, Abellis, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Let me try to see if I can see who they went to. Abellis likes it for everybody's names to be green, so she gifts a lot. Thank you so much. Those memberships went to Nicole, Nana for Life, Blessed Mama, Linda Bishop, Shawshank's Redemption. I see you looking, Andrews. I like that. Kimmy, Rose Miller, John and Kendra, H. Landers. Okay. If you were gifted from Abellis and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abellis thank you, and I will grab the Polar Express to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. We'll take it slow this morning. Thank you, or this afternoon. Thank you, Abellis. I appreciate that, and I love you so much. Thank you, Abellis.
All aboard! All aboard!
Sorry, swallowed my coffee wrong. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, Piola's mom, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Piola's mom says support Hump Day Love Chain. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Hey Mark, good to see you. Running Bear said I think they'll send him to Nashville prison this time. I hope so. Rebel Jewel said, so here in Tiptonville, we have the county jail and Northwest Correctional Complex, the prison. And that's where allegedly the bodies were found and where Mr. Brandon Powell here was busted with the drones dropping stuff into the prison yard. Hey, Miss Sarah. Everybody coming in, good to see you. Dolly again. Ali X, good to see you again. Vero, good to see you again. Guess I will bring y'all when I go cook my fake meat. What fake meat? Are you eating tofu? Rebel said he will get moved from the jail to the prison, but it sounds like, yes, he's going to get transferred to Nashville. I hope they keep him segregated from the alleged members of the Vice Lords, and he doesn't have it anywhere near as good as he had it last time in prison. And again, this is his little area where they found him. He's got all the beer there. Some kind of speaker. I guess it's sideways. So he had a speaker plugged in and a bunch of cases of beer and some kind of shirt and a fan and a little seat and bed, just like his little prison cell there. And there is allegedly Caitlin Speed, the CO, allegedly pregnant with his baby. Allegedly. That's the man who found him. That is a picture of his dad who wrote the note begging him to turn himself in. And that was the possible motive, which we talked about. I'll read it again. This is a picture of him when he was a lot younger, October 9th of 2013, in reference to what sent him to prison for 10 years the first time, the robbery, where he got $44 at the age of 16. This is the letter from his dad that says there are no words for the level of sadness we feel for the 4 young lives that were taken. The thought that our son could be responsible for such a tragedy is devastating. We urge Austin to turn himself in and end the panic and misery so many are feeling. The Drummond family. This is the alleged motive. Allegedly, Austin was inside the prison at one point and got released in September of 2024. That's factual. We can find facts of that. He was supposed to go somewhere else on his own and turn himself in to serve the rest of his remaining time for another charge. He did not. That I think he bonded out on those charges. He fell in love with a correctional officer from the prison. They ended up running off together. Her name is Caitlin. We saw the pictures of them. Also, Caitlin's daughter's father said that she ran off with him and he didn't understand really why and that it wasn't a great decision. So that can be backed up. Says you can look on her Facebook and you can look her up in the system. She is Courtney's sister. Courtney Rose is the grandmother that the homicide was a homicide victim, and she is Courtney's sister. Caitlin and Courtney are sisters, and Matt apparently was with Austin, and they were getting drugs inside, basically flying the drones over the prison yard and dropping this stuff, all the stuff that Brandon Powell got charged with. The prison a hit was put out on Matt. Matt didn't know about it until it was too late. Courtney and the other two were just there and they weren't going to leave any witnesses alive, to my understanding. It was not a hit put out on Courtney because apparently Matt is the one that made the deal go bad. So allegedly, a deal went bad because Matt was part of everything and the deal went bad and they put a hit out on Mac. And allegedly, De'Ara right here was also a CO that was helping. And then this says there was a girl on one of the posts that claimed to know inside information that said Austin and Matthew were involved in smuggling drugs to a gang that Austin is supposedly a member of in prison, and that would be the Vice Lords gang. She said that a deal had gone bad and a hit was put out on Matthew. According to her, they were meeting at that location to do a drop. And again, the location where the car was found is right by the prison where they would probably be doing drops. Not knowing a hit had been put out, Matthew didn't know a hit had been put out. She said Courtney and the others were just collateral damage because they were there. I have no clue how true that is, but it does seem to make sense. And I think it makes sense as well. Now, I hope it's so high you can't make it. We'll go back to our Bibb County. We stopped in the middle of our video. I want to finish this out with you guys. I'll back it up just a little bit. I want you guys to hear what the sheriff said about this. This again is our Bibb County 7 who are accused of trafficking children in horrific ways, and we read the documents on that in our other live.
It's 3 years old. So far, 7 people have been arrested.
I've been in law enforcement for 33 years, and this is absolutely the most horrible thing I've ever seen when it comes to victimization of children.
Carolyn Potter works with trafficking survivors from across the country through the Well House, a recovery center in Alabama. She says the signs of trafficking are often present, just not always recognized.
We need to do a better job of educating our teachers and our counselors and our caseworker on what trauma looks like and on the signs of human trafficking, because I would wager just about anything that those children showed signs.
And we can talk about that. I've got a video where a teacher had said something. Vero, you asked, this is all speculation in reference to Austin Drummond and the motive behind the crime, the alleged hit being put out on Matt. Yes, that is all speculation. That came from a Facebook post. I don't know it to be true. Running Bear said 7 more will be arrested. I think Hio said that there's up to 10 more people that could be arrested.
Authorities say the children were participating in normal activities, including attending school. Yet the abuse had been taking place since around 2022.
I do not think that anybody that was not involved in this directly was aware that it was going on.
When I tell you, I feel like I've seen it all and heard it all. This is shocking even to me that it went on this long without anyone knowing about it or being able to do anything.
Now with the
It is shocking that it went on for 2 years and nobody knew anything, but again, the children were drugged. So, I don't know. I mean, like I said, on the one hand, I'm glad that the one child did finally recall something and was able to alert Department of Social Services about what had happened. Yeah, baby, will you dump that out and pour me some fresh? Yeah, coffee. Thank you, baby. I appreciate that. Mr. Speculating just come home. Thought process. Okay. I'm glad that that one child was able to alert CPS and the authorities were able to get involved. However, I wish that none of them remembered and had to deal with that trauma. Rebel Jewel, referencing Austin Drummond case, said, I was told the same thing, that Matthew was the only target, but unfortunately the other victims went with Matt, and Matt had been smuggling but wanted out because he had a baby. Not sure if that's true, though. Yeah, it's all just speculation, but it makes a lot of sense. Thank you so very much. I hope your day at work was okay. Who knows said, I saw they arrested another younger woman. Really? Oh, that's her. Oh, yeah. So these are part of the Bibb County 7, and we went over the documents in the first live that I did today, right before it ended, right before we started this one. Oh, Abella said that she's sorry for your loss about your dad. He said thank you. Yeah, once you're in a gang like that, there's no getting out.
Investigation still ongoing. The focus is also shifting to recovery. Potter says the children will need more than a rescue. They'll need long-term care.
They've already been in contact with counselors, and they're getting the help they need, the medical help they need, the emotional and psychological help that we can best provide them.
Yet sadly, the 10 child victims identified in this case so far aren't the only ones.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot more that's going to come out, unfortunately.
There are more. There are more children across our state, across our country.
I get irritated by the way she smiles. I'm glad she's there to help children in instances like this because unfortunately it happens, but it irritates me how she smiles about it.
Who are enduring horrific crimes like these.
I spoke with Sheriff Wade this morning. He said they have not yet made any additional arrests in this case, but they are actively working on uncovering additional suspects. The sheriff's office urges anyone with any information to contact them in the newsroom. Gracie Johnson, ABC 3340 News.
So I wanted to show y'all before we leave for the day, where a teacher, well, I've got two actually. This talks about Andre Vallejo, the one guy that's supposedly the mastermind behind the operation, being a Serenos member. Oh yeah, and then there's an article that he told me about we're going to read. And I wanted to show y'all real quick what the teacher said or what a teacher saw from former years with one of the victims.
New insight into a disturbing story out of Alabama. We first told you about last week. Investigators in Bibb County say several children were drugged and sexually abused right here in this underground bunker. At least 10.
Yes. So Hannah, thank you for being here. Hannah said, does the state have death penalty for child SA? We looked at a video yesterday or the day before that told us that the politicians are moving for the death penalty to be automatically available for people who rape children. They're pushing for that to be a law in the state. So
victims were rescued from that horrific trafficking operation. 7 people were arrested there, and tonight our local station, WBMA, is hearing directly from a local teacher who says she raised concerns about one of the victims more than a year ago.
I just feel like it should have been looked into more, knowing now that they were drugged and stuff, so that had a lot to do with where she is academically.
That teacher, who wanted to stay anonymous for the interview, said she reported the child's condition multiple times to top school administrators.
She was just very delayed developmentally, and there could be billions of reasons, but now with all this coming out, it's kind of like that's probably why.
Just a horrific situation. So far, the school district in Bibb County, Alabama, has not officially responded to our station's request for a response.
Live with local coverage you can.
Now, I mean, just because a child is developmentally delayed, you don't necessarily think that, they're being abused. So I don't know what all they could have done differently, but I couldn't imagine being that teacher and then, knowing that, I made concerns about maybe the home life of the child and whatnot, and then finding out that all of this happened. That would break my heart. 2x2 sec. I don't know. It's nice to meet you, Mandy's victim tour. My brain cannot even comprehend how another human being with the same beating heart and bones and brains that I have could possibly want to do anything other than love and protect children. Right. I agree. And then to think that, it's their family, their parents. It's awful. That was well put, Lala. There are always signs. Hindsight is 2020. I don't want people who didn't see them to feel guilty. Yeah, the developmental delay could be anything, right? Well, she took it to her higher ups and then, expects them to go through the motions to make sure everything's done accurately. But, I don't know. Teachers can literally be first responders. They should be able to make a citizen's arrest. It would be good in a good world, but there's also, I mean, think about the teacher out there in Arkansas, the Devil's Den suspect. Lord knows if he could make a citizen's arrest, God knows what would have happened. All right, this is going to talk about Andres being a Serenos member.
Count on. This is the CBS 42 News at 5.
Hazel.
We have new information tonight about a sex trafficking ring investigation in Bibb County. Good evening. I'm Carly Lang. And I'm Maddie McCain in for Sherry Jackson. CBS 42's Avery Boyce spoke exclusively with Homeland Security and the Bibb County Sheriff, who confirmed one of the suspects is a member of a Mexican gang.
Homeland Security says that three things connect Andres Trejo Velázquez to the Suernos gang: tattoos, family, and alleged statements. Trejo Velázquez is one of 7 suspects who faces multiple charges in connection with the child sex trafficking ring. Investigators say abusers paid Trejo Velázquez and 6 others to sexually abuse children as young as 3 and kept those children in this bunker. HSI Special Agent Stephen Sharank says the man is an American citizen, but multiple tattoos connect him to the Mexican gang.
We also believe his father was a suspected gang member who ultimately perished in Mexico in 2015 in a clash with a rival cartel or gang.
Agent Sharank and Bibb County Sheriff Jody Wade say Trejo Velázquez also told people he is a Serenos gang member.
Now, we looked that up when we watched this video the first time. The Serenos was started because of, in California, the prison gangs there was the Northern Californians and the Southern Californians, and the Serenos are the Southern, and I forget what the Northern are called. But going back to what they said about his father, I mean, that's going to be a generational thing too. His father was killed in a clash with a gang in Mexico. And so he's just doing, living that lifestyle because that's what he was raised up and brought up in, unfortunately. I'm going to check the picture again for what you said about the bottle beside the microwave. I didn't even notice that. Piola's mom. Or Pilola's mom.
He had bragged to different people that he was associated with, that he was a member of that gang. So we were pretty much going by what he said and some of the tattoo markings he had that would show that you're affiliated with that particular gang.
According to Homeland Security investigators, Serenos are a violent gang with a long track record of committing transnational crimes. Special Agent Sharank says they're investigating whether the child sex trafficking ring in Bibb County is tied to the Serenos or cartels.
That's always part of an investigation of this nature, looking at the profit that is made and what is done with that. Ultimately,
so they're basically looking into it to see if he sent the profits from what he was making over the borders or to higher up Serenos members. The Serenos are also a nationwide gang. Like, both of the cases we've talked about today, they've both been members of a gang. And I don't want to blame it on a gang specifically because it is just evilness, but they do, like we were talking about earlier, they'll entice you to get involved, especially in the prison system. I mean, you would you feel like you have to for protection, and then once you're in, you can't ever get out. It's sad. Sandra said, how many of those children are children that were brought over the border unaccompanied? I don't know, and I don't know if we will know. I know some of them are the offenders' children, but I don't know. I hope you have a good day, Rubber. Lola was my pit bull. My first name starts with a P. Aw. If I remember, I'll call you Lola. That's so sweet.
Those organizations do help each other in pushing product that poisons our communities and generates profit for their activity.
Well, the only thing I could do to reassure the community is that we're doing all we can to find all the victims, get them to safety, find all the perpetrators, and get them in custody.
Sheriff Jody Wade said that he could not say what exact role that Trejo Velázquez or the 6 others played in this. However, he did say that those roles included managing the money, scheduling the assaults, and providing the children. In Bibb County, Avery Boyce, CBS 42.
That's so shameful. Setting up they called them appointments for the children to be abused, managing the money and providing the victims. Sick. Lola's Abellis's name is also named after her dog. So I thought that was sweet. Y'all kind of reminded me of each other. Okay, now we're gonna go not to the Google Maps. We're gonna go back over here. And you said there's a bottle by the microwave. That is hand sanitizer. Hot dog buns, a coffee pot. I mean, that thing looks absolutely disgusting. And then there's something here. It almost looks like a card that maybe you would do a line with or something, but I don't know. But that is definitely a bottle of Dollar Tree hand sanitizer because I have like 5 on my counter right now because I have 4 children running around and I'm like, whoa, you need some hand sanitizer. I'm going to provide it everywhere I possibly can. I mean, it's just disgusting. The whole thing. Even that fan. Look how nasty that fan is. There's a drain in the floor right there. So that could be where one of the pipes come out. The floor drains to keep it from flooding. And that's probably where one of these pipes comes out for flooding. Although it'd have to be lower, I would think. So maybe it's this pipe right here that comes out. That's the drain in the floor. And then I think on the other side of this wall is the door. And there's a camping chair there that appears to be broke because this is just kind of hanging. But when you think about, they were saying they tied them up. No, they would drug them and then take them down to this bunker and abuse them. And right here, there is some kind of toaster oven or something with a coffee pot and some hot dog buns. But by the time they made it down here, they were drugged, allegedly. Sad. All right, let's see. Hold on just a minute so I can get this. Okay, see, look, Cassandra is so awesome. She made this whole spreadsheet about this case. All right, so she said there is a article. They've got Anaya's Law down there. That's what she was telling me about there. There's the map coordinates. New information on Trussellville trafficking sting. That's crazy. Okay. I'm trying to find the article. I don't know which one she said. That's News 13. That's a YouTube. It's a TikTok. All right, we'll read this article. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's it. So there's a new suspect charged in Bibb County child sex trafficking ring. And there's going to be a video on it as soon as this article is, advertisement. My mind is all over the place right now. It's over. I'll make it big. Nope. It clicked on the ad. Hold on just a minute. I've got to figure out some kind of ad blocker for my Google.
Law enforcement for 33 years, and this is absolutely the most horrible thing I've ever seen when it comes to victimization of children.
The sheriff of Bibb County releasing new shocking details in a case that's best described as a child sex trafficking ring.
And WVTM 13's Lisa Crane, she's been following this story for us. She's live and local at the sheriff's office right now. So Lisa, what did you learn today?
Well, the most tragic news coming from that press conference today is that they have identified 10 victims, boys and girls, as old as 15 and as young as 3 years old. And they believe there are more of those victims out there. Now, we want to warn you, the details in this case are very disturbing. And some of the images we're going to show you may also be upsetting. But today, Sheriff Jody Wade actually released the picture of the inside of the bunker where they say.
So this appears to be an older article, so it might not be the right one.
The atrocities took place for as long as 2 years this was going on. Authorities say the child victims were tied to that bed and that chair, as well as a pole in that bunker. Then people paid money to violate them. Now you can see the outside of the building. It was built as a storm shelter, but used as a den of horrors for these children. Take a look at the now 7 people who have been arrested in this case. It appears the first person you see there, Anders Trejo, was running the operation. He's charged with multiple counts of human trafficking. The other 6 people, Chase McElroy, Dalton Terrell, Timothy St. John, Rebecca Brewer, Ricky Terrell, and Sarah Terrell, are facing charges from rape, sodomy, sexual torture, to human trafficking, kidnapping, even bestiality. The sheriff today spoke with how the alleged perpetrators found the victims.
Unfortunately, animals like this, they do have their own network. They've got people that they can call. They've got ads they can take out, be it on any kind of social media platform or something like that. So it is somewhat of an underground thing, but it is well known. Not all the offenders were necessarily familiar with the people that they were purchasing the kids from.
Look at how he had to say that. So evidently not all of the people were involved in it was basically a criminal enterprise. Some people wouldn't even go there. They would just collect money or set up the appointments, et cetera, and wouldn't even be there. There was a select set of people who were there with the children being abused. I did just find the article on an 8th person charged, so we will talk about that. Hey, Reggie said, lock all them crackers under the jail. I agree. Hey, Pisces. Yeah, it's not on my YouTube. It's on like articles that I pull up. I hate it. I got to get some kind of ad blocker.
Now, the sheriff says there are many victims of our children of the accused. The victims, many of them anyway, are children of the accused. Not only
See, many of the victims are children of the people who were charged in this crime, which makes it even more horrendous.
does the sheriff believe that there are more victims out there, but he also believes they're going to be making more arrests in this case. There may be more perpetrators as well. Coming up at 5, we're going to hear from the sheriff on why the Department of Homeland Security is also involved in this investigation. Live in Bibb County, Lisa Crane, WVTM 13.
Okay. So we'll jump up over here and right here from 3 hours ago. Okay, what is going on? Okay, that thing just started talking. Okay, I'm going to grab the Discord link real quick because I saw that somebody asked. We do have a Discord where a lot of us get together and talk. I haven't been as active as right now as I usually am during the winter and fall because I've had a lot going on. But I am in and out of there. So here is the link for the Discord. If any of you want to join, it is free. We just kind of hang out there and talk. And then I'm going to grab Sandra's link. It is in the description of the other video. But if you guys have not subscribed to her, make sure you do so. She's got a great channel going on over there. She's the one who made that wonderful spreadsheet about this case for us and got me the documents. All right, so I'm going to pin my Discord link at the top if you guys want to join that. We're always hanging out there and talking. Like I said, I will be there more when I'm not doing the garden and all of that stuff. I just stay super busy as of, right now with the garden and everything. But this fall and winter, I should be in there more. All right, this article is titled 8th Person Charged in Connection to Bibb County Child Sex Trafficking Ring. In Bibb County, Alabama, an 8th person has been charged in connection to a child sex trafficking ring that was uncovered in Bibb County. 7 arrested in connection to the Bibb County child sex trafficking ring is what this is titled. And then it says Olivia Elam. Oh, do y'all remember that name from the live we did a minute ago? Because I do. You want me to show you where it was? I'll show you where it was. If we jump back over here, remember that this was the old document, right, for Timothy St. John. And remember, Timothy St. John is the only one that got charged with bestiality and cruelty to animals. Right here, where he was charged on April 14th of 2023 at 1 a.m., that first charge right there, illegal possession of a prescription, right here. Timothy St. John. On April 14th of 2023, he had possession of a drug or medicine that is limited by law due to be dispensed by prescription only, to wit, 12 white pills in a small baggie and 1 white pill in a prescription bottle labeled for a Ross Elam. Ross Elam, right there. So the person he was getting the pills from, the hydrocodone and the gabapentin, way back in 2023, either is the person or related to the person that was charged in this as the 8th person, Olivia Elam. They've got the same last name. This one says Olivia Elam. This one says Ross Elam. So maybe it's a husband or wife, or Ross could be a female. It could be Olivia Ross Elam, or Ross could be a male, maybe the husband to Olivia Elam. Continuing, Olivia Elam is charged with 5 counts of first-degree RAPE, 9 counts of first-degree sodomy, 9 counts of first-degree human trafficking, 8 counts of first-degree kidnapping, aggravated child abuse, and sexual torture or abuse, according to court documents. Several people had previously been arrested in connection to the child sex trafficking ring, which was William McElroy, Dalton Terrell, Anders Trejo Valaquez, Timothy St. John, Rebecca Brewer, Ricky Terrell, and Sarah Terrell. Some charges in the case include RAPE, sodomy, sexual abuse, sexual torture, human trafficking, kidnapping, and then Timothy St. John had the bestiality stuff. Bibb County Sheriff Jody Wade said that the investigation started in February after the Alabama Department of Human Resources received a claim of child abuse at a home on Aaron Drive. The sheriff's office discovered sexual abuse was happening in a bunker behind the home. Wade said the children were not kept permanently in the bunker, but the timing of how long they were there and in there, but the timing of how long they were in there at one time would vary. Interesting. It is an odd name, isn't it? I'm going to see what Hio can pull for Olivia Elam for me. I find it real interesting that Olivia Elam, and then in this document, the person that he was getting the hydrocodone and gabapentin from also has the last name Elam. And if we talk about it, Timothy St. John doesn't have the last name Terrell. It's the Terrells that I figured was the family and extended family abusing the children. Timothy St. John, I don't know how he's related, but like I said, doesn't have the last name Terrell. And I'm assuming this Elam person is somebody he brought into the operation because he knew them back in 2023. Of course, they said the abuse started January 1st of 2023, so maybe he met them through the abuse. I don't know. And if he did, I mean, think about that. He got busted for these 4 charges: ill possession of a prescription, possession of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and possession of a controlled substance for the pipes and the meth and the weed and the pharmaceuticals. And he got busted for that, but not the damn ring. Thanks, Dolly. Ross like on Friends, Elm like Elm Tree. Yeah. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming back to the second stream. And I appreciate y'all being here and hanging out with me today. I'm gonna go ahead and end it because, as you know, Mr. Speculating is home. I'm gonna go ahead and start cooking dinner. I hope y'all have a good day. Please hit the thumbs up on this stream and the other stream if you haven't. Thank you all for your support, and thank you again for coming back. Cuban Dolly said, that guy's gross. His mugshot says it all. I try not to judge, but F him for what he did. Exactly. Thank you, YouTube bad actors, for being here. And thank y'all for sitting with me through this awful, awful, horrendous things. If anybody tries to hit you with some bullshit in the meantime before we see each other, you can tell them this.
Not today. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Tell them not today. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. If nobody has told you, you are enough. You are important. You are special and you are loved. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.